Hi you guys, so it's Thursday and I thought I would film a get ready with me. My hair isn't done yet. I washed it last night. So I'm either gonna put it up. It's like really didn't dry. I mean, it dried okay. I sleep on wet hair. I know it's bad. I do it once a week when I wash my hair and I know how bad it is, but I can't. I shower in the evenings and that's when I take like my big shower. During the summer, I take a quick shower in the morning. I don't shower twice a day in the winter unless I really need to, just because it dries out my skin so bad. So I typically shower. That way I'm clean and can get into a clean bed. Weird fact about me, once I shower, I will not leave the house. I don't know if it's like a phobia thing. I'm not sure, but once I've showered, I won't leave the house. I don't like to go in my pajamas outside, and I don't like to have my outside clothes like in my bed. It's just a weird thing. Tonight we have a cheer, so I'm just gonna get ready now. It's like 10 o'clock. Usually I'm dressed and ready by now. But I just didn't get ready early this morning. I'm going to use a little bit of the Smashbox priming water. I only have a little bit of this left. I can't find it anywhere. If anyone knows if they still make it, it is the best. It is the only thing that keeps, like, you could go 24 hours and your makeup's still going to look beautiful. I don't know what that wizardry is in that stuff, but it is so good. And I had a wedding last December and I used that, and I had to get it was an evening wedding, but we had to drive to get there and everything. That kept my makeup on for hours and it looked beautiful. I remember the bride came up to me, and she's a makeup artist, and she's like, other than me, your makeup's the prettiest here. She's like, but I can't say anything because I'm the bride. So we were laughing about it. So I'm back using the Fenty Beauty. I didn't use this because I thought it was the wrong shade. It was too light. It's 180. Usually I like 180. Where is it? Oh, I do have it right here. Usually I like 185. It's too dark for me, but like I've said before, I like darker foundations on myself. So tonight, I'm just getting ready because we have cheerleading tonight. I'm going to take 3 pumps to start and just a blender. Let me make sure you're able to see me because, of course, I'm blind as a bat without my glasses. And excuse the background. I know it's a little messy. We had a busy week, and I spent like 6 hours last night at my grandparents' house. I just needed to. Let me finish. We have cheerleading tonight, so I'm getting ready for that. And my husband's coming home from work. He's been in upstate New York all week, so he's home tonight, and hopefully he'll make it in time for the basketball game. If he leaves work at 2, usually Fridays they try to get out of there Thursdays, sorry, they try to get out of there pretty early. Then he should be able to make it to the basketball game, which is so fun. But last night I went and I picked my daughter up at 2 o'clock from school, which is Dismissal. I love this foundation. It's so beautiful, which is Dismissal. And we just drove right down to my grandparents' house. They live about 40 minutes, and you gotta understand something. So until I was 8 years old, I lived with them. And then my mom bought the house across the street from them. And then I bought the house down the street from them. So we've always lived within walking distance. Literally, I could throw a ball down the street to their house. So it's very, very difficult for them not to have me. Not that there's obviously favorites in any families. I hate to say that, but I'm one of the ones that is closer to my grandparents, I should say. And my grandmother definitely raised me. My mother was young and had a lot of issues. So my grandparents definitely raised me. And I slept in bed with them. You guys, this is embarrassing. I was pregnant, still getting in bed with my grandparents. So that's how close I am. Like my grandfather, when my grandmother would go in the hospital, a lot of times when I was younger, she has MS. So a lot of times she would have to go to the hospital unexpectedly. And it was very hard on me. And I would sleep in bed with my grandfather. I know some people might not understand that, but it was my safety. He's always been my safe place, my grandfather. And I know a lot of people are they don't have that. But I've always been very lucky to have that. So I had to just go. I was just feeling a lot of anxiety. So I went down and spent a couple hours, like 6 hours, while she just messed around in the kitchen. Look how beautiful and full coverage this is. And she recently stumbled upon my TikToks. One of the kids, I think it might have been my daughter actually, made her a TikTok. And she stumbled across mine, and she keeps like asking me about it, like how does she do it? And she's 76, but she's very current for being 76. Like she was mistaken for my mother when she was younger. She doesn't look or act 76. I don't know how to explain. I don't know how a 76-year-old's supposed to act, but like you could definitely mistake her for maybe 60. She dresses kind of the same as me, and she's very current and up to date with, like, she's not like your typical boomer, I should say. Is that what it is? She's very understanding and current, and she taught me like everything I needed to know about life as best as she could. I mean, some of her thoughts are a little dated, but she's one of the least offensive elderly people that I know, if that makes sense. She doesn't judge anybody, and she's been through so much. And I always say, she's like, how do I start doing fashion videos? She's like, I would love people to send me clothes so I could review them. She's like, I look good for my age. She's like, I could definitely model for people. I'm like, it doesn't really work like that. I was like, you have to acquire following, and then you have to have companies reach out to you. She's like, well, how do I do that? I was like, people would love you, but I don't think fashion is your thing. I was like, why not cooking and cleaning and all of like your crafting that you do for your church? But she's like insistent on doing clothing. I was like, well, all you gotta do is put the camera and do it. I was like, just do an unedited video. Like, just make sure it's, you know, that's just tell people this is who you are. And she's thinking about it, and I think it would be a really cool idea. So if she ever does, I do have a video of her from a couple years back where I recorded her cooking. I don't know what the quality is because the video's got to be about, since I think I did it in like 2018 maybe. Look how beautiful this foundation is. I'm just going to go in my crease on my nose here. Yep, everything looks great. So maybe she would, and then if she does, I would post it for you guys to, or I would put her channel up for you guys, whether she does TikTok or just going in with the full coverage concealer. I'm only going to use a very little bit. Whether she would do TikTok, I don't know, or YouTube, but I just think it's funny that she enjoys that. And then, I'm so excited, you guys. I know this is like meaningless, but these are just things that are going on in my life right now. And okay, so everyone knows I have my two sisters. I think I do have a video with my middle sister, Gabby. And then Hannah's the one who's in most of any of my videos that you've ever seen of my sisters, the redhead that I did her New Year's Eve makeup look. I will put that in the description for you, or in the cards. I'm just going in and doing my upper lip because that's where I have a little bit of problem. And then I'm just going to do a little bit under eye and then on my lid. Well, she just turned 23 and she has never had a boyfriend or girlfriend. She's never shown interest in anybody either, and never shown interest in dating. She's never had a boyfriend, not a girlfriend, nothing. She's never been in any type of intimate situation with a person. So for a long time, and I'm sure I will make sure I get her permission. I won't say too much about it, but I will definitely make sure it's okay for me to talk about it. But for a long time, her and I kind of talked about maybe her being asexual, not being attracted to anyone, not having any types of romantic or intimate feelings about people. So I thought, okay, maybe because of some things that had happened in her childhood, you know, unfortunately, it happens to a lot of people. I felt like either one, she might be asexual, or two, it's just going to take the right person to come along, which is with most people, to make you feel comfortable and open up. Well, I remember about a year ago, she talked about this guy from work, and she's went back and forth, like she didn't know if she was attracted to women or men. And I always told her, like, you're young, just let yourself figure it out. You don't need to know right now. It's okay to be confused. You don't need to put any type of crazy label on it. Just be yourself, and whatever's supposed to happen for you is going to happen, whether that's dating a woman, a man, whoever you fall in love with. We knew that, and my husband and I, we don't care. It is what it is. We don't ever judge who someone chooses to be with. That's, first of all, it's none of our damn business, and second of all, as long as it's legal, what the hell does it matter? I don't give a shit. I mean, I think that if you're happy, that's all that should matter. And there's a lot of heterosexual couples that are miserable and shouldn't be together, you know what I mean? As well as any couple, whatever, it doesn't matter. So she met this guy, and she started kind of just like talking to him as a friend. I'm just going in with my cream contour from Anastasia Beverly Hills in Caramel. I went a little high with this one, so I'll have to fix it with my sponge. And she got very nervous and scared, and she ended up like kind of backtracking and messed things up, she thought. And I kept saying to her, like, listen, if he's this nice, as much as you say he is, explain to him, be honest. And all he can do with it is say, okay, I'm not ready to deal with something like that, and I'm not willing to take it slow, or he'll be wonderful and he'll understand. Well, she just couldn't. And then she kept saying, I just made such a mistake. He's so perfect. I made a mistake. I said, Hannah, if you're going to regret this, you have to say something, or you don't understand like what it is to live with that kind of regret. You need to say something. All that can happen is he's not willing to take it slow with you. And if that's the case, then he wasn't for you anyway. I don't know what happened. She went out with her girlfriends for her birthday, and next thing you know, they're a couple. And I don't know how it happened. I don't care. I'm so excited for her. It's her first real relationship, and I feel she's a Capricorn. And in my experience with the Capricorns, and I have many, many Capricorns in my life, they are very like one and done type of people. When they meet their people, that's it. And they're very faithful and loyal people. And for some reason, I feel like I always told her, whoever you're going to meet, you're going to end up being with. And this guy is amazing for her. Oh my God, you guys, I couldn't have been more happy. All three of my girls, my daughter isn't dating somebody, but she has this best friend that I just know they're head over heels for each other, but they're only 16 and he's either 17 or 18. They're still kids, you know what I mean? But I always say that if you start out as friends and blossom into something else, it's just such an amazing experience and a different type of relationship. So all of a sudden they went out, and she explained to him some things that were personal and that she wasn't ready for, and that she needs to take it at, and I quote her, snail pace. And he was okay with it. And let me tell you guys, this kid, well, he's not a kid. He's a little bit younger than her, but she's a very nurturer at heart, and she loves to take care of people. And he's not needy, but she said he's very quiet and he reads. He's gigantic. He's like 6'3". He's big and tall, and he's perfect for her. And I feel like she feels safe with this guy. And here's how I know this. And I don't want to say anything personal about what's ever happened to my sister, but she does have quite a bit of trauma in her life. But he's, number one, his mother and father are immigrants. I believe they came from Mexico. I don't know where in Mexico, but I think that is so friggin' amazing. He speaks fluent Spanish, which I think is so cool. and he's just tall, and he's from South Carolina. That's where they came, and he used to work on a farm, and he was a rancher when he was a kid. You know, those types of like immigrant families, I feel like they work like dogs. They are like really, really hard workers. So he's been working since he was young, and then I'm not sure how he ended up in New Jersey. I don't care. I'm so glad. And then he had some type of injury. So right now he is working with her, and then he is in the process of joining the Coast Guard, which I think is so amazing. And I've tried, honestly, it's so funny because I kind of really wanted my sister to get into the Coast Guard. I thought it would be good for her, but it's just not, you know, she doesn't know if that's what she wants. She's still pretty young. She's only 23. So now I'm just going to set all my everything with loose powder from KVD. But yes, he came from a ranch in North Carolina, and he's getting ready to go into the service, and he's just such a nice person. So let me just set my lids, and I'll tell you what. Well, I guess I can do it as I'm doing it. I just needed to get a little closer, but that's fine. So last night was the first time I've met him in person, and I wasn't sure. My sister has a tendency, and this isn't like a bad thing, but I feel like she doesn't really, she's learning who she is. So she has a tendency, I don't know how to say this without it sounding terrible, but to take on others' personalities. So like, I can tell who she's been around, because I feel like that's a way of maybe when you're kind of lost as a person, it's just easier to kind of take on others' personalities. Does that make any sense? Because maybe I'm not making sense, but she does. She takes on, I can just tell like what specific friends she's been around just from the way she talks and acts. But last night when she was with him, it was like when she's with us. She was just so normal and so relaxed, and they were just sitting together, and she's counted how many kisses they've had. So it's such a relief. And I kept, not that being alone, there's anything wrong with it, but I kept telling her it's such a different experience when you have a partner that's for you and only you. So like, for example, your mom, your mom has to be biased. Like, she can't be just solely on your side. She has to see every point of view of every sibling. Do you know what I mean? Or a grandmother, or me being the big sister and raising them. Like, I can't just take her side. I have to see everyone's side. But with your partner, if they're the right person, they're only for you. So my husband, let me tell you, that man is the biggest ride or die for me. If I said to him, and I tried to convince people that sky is purple, he'd go to his deathbed telling people that sky is purple. Now, I know that's not always good. And behind closed doors, that's, you know, I feel like you shouldn't call your partner out. You shouldn't humiliate them. And then if you feel like they're wrong, you can say, hey, I don't think you're making the right choice. That's how I am. Like, for example, I hate when parents embarrass their kids. And I know sometimes it's hard not to, but like, I don't chastise my daughter in front of anyone. That's a private thing. And I feel like that's why there's a trusting relationship. I will tell her, quit it. But when we are home alone, that's when I feel like it's appropriate to discuss maybe why she was behaving that way. Okay, so I have set everything so far. But yes, I've noticed that she just seemed relaxed around him. And my sister is very affectionate. She's very touchy-feely. She does hang on people. So I wasn't sure exactly like how things would go with a partner. And she just seemed to fall right into it. And I know it's silly to be so excited for someone else because it's not me, but I am. I'm just like, there's a few things in life that I've always just been worried about, them not having a mom and me being so young raising them, like what things I might have done wrong. And I just have always been scared about, because we do have a huge history of like drug and alcohol and dependency. Oh God, did I have blush on that? Yes, I did. Oh man. Oh well. We do have a big history of drug and alcohol dependency. I'm just using the Fenty. And some people in the family have had criminal histories and gone to jail and other things, and my fear was just them living as good people, that's all, and whatever their definition of success was. And now my one sister has a full-time job in a doctor's office, and I'll talk a little more about that. It's just nice to see. And now she works full-time and has a boyfriend, and my daughter's doing good in school, and I feel good. I feel like things are okay right now. And my husband's working full time. I know his job is very weather dependent. So right now, I'm just blessed and grateful. So that's that. I know it's like a weird thing, but if you're a mom, maybe you'll understand like what it's like to see we've kind of just had accepted that maybe it just, I don't know what is going on with my nose, that maybe it just was not in the cards for Hannah to ever date. And I know she's young, but most kids like have your high school boyfriend or whatever, and we just thought maybe it wasn't in the cards for her, and that was okay. We just kind of had we knew how upset it made her, so we tried not to really say too much about it, but maybe it was just waiting for the universe or God or whoever you believe in to send the right, compassionate, gentle person. And I thought this was one of the nicest things she said to me. She said, Abba, he reminds me of you in a way. She's like, he's quiet and observant and he reads and he's just gentle. And I thought, like, can anyone give you a better compliment? You know what I mean? And I'm just so thrilled. And like, their very first date, and I thought to myself, you are definitely, even though you're not, you're my child, because only my kids would think this is a great date. So I guess they either went out to eat, then they went and walked around Home Depot, and then he took her to Walmart, and they went in the kids section, and he read her one of the Spanish books. And I thought only my kids would think Home Depot and Walmart is a fun date. But I just thought, like, thank you, whoever, God, whatever you believe in, for just letting things be okay right now. So I'm going to do my eyebrows because they're boring and I could be here forever, or I could be 5 minutes and then we'll be back to work on my eyes. Okay, eyebrows are secure. Done. Whew, not as bad as I thought today. So now I thought we would talk about my middle sister. Just something quick and funny. So I did tell you is that she does have a bachelor's in psychology, so she was able to get a job with this like new aged therapy. Like I think I had talked about it. It's like a magnetic therapy. It's when you have exhausted all types of medications and things like that, and you just I don't know if all of it's FDA approved. I really don't know much about it. Maybe one day she'll tell me a little more and I can explain it. It's really interesting and she loves it. But it's definitely more like a new age type of therapy, and it has to do with some type of magnets on your head. And she has all kinds of people come into her office, and she met a science teacher. That's all I know. And she called me the other night and she's like, you won't believe. So she's like, you won't believe what I have. So something about her and I, we are, as much as we aren't alike, we are identical. One thing we did get from our mother is our love of animals and nature, and we're very much, how do I say it without being nice, or without it sounding not nice about us? We're not eccentric exactly, but, and quirky's kind of like not a nice thing anymore, just different. We kind of just, her and I just go to a beat of a different drum than most people. We're the type of people that will catch a housefly and put it outside. We don't look both ways when we cross the street, things like that. I don't know how else to explain it. We'll rescue everything. If there's ladybugs, we pick them up and put them outside, things like that. And she called me and she's like, you'll never believe what one of the patients brought me. And I'm like, what? He's a science teacher, mind you, and he brought her a Madagascar hissing cockroach. Yeah. And I said, Gabby, what are you gonna, like, what do you feed it? Like, what are you gonna do with it? And I thought to myself, if someone gave it to me, I would have kept it too. Even though I hate cockroaches with a burning, fiery passion. And I said, you know, they're not like the German cockroaches that people typically get in their house. This is like, if it gets loose, I don't know, can they reproduce? And next thing you know, you have thousands of Madagascar hissing cockroaches. Like, they're not small. It's probably this big. It's effing gross. She named it Leo. And so far, she's keeping it. So I'll update you on that one. If I can get her to send me a picture in time for this video, I do have a blurry picture. I don't know how many people would want to see it. So if I put it up, I'll put a little trigger warning, and I'll just, that way you can skip ahead if it's like a phobia like mine. It did give me a major like food aversion. I was eating when she sent the picture and I almost threw up. But that's my sister Gabby for you. She's a goofball. Why she would take a cockroach is beyond me. I don't even know how it even happened, to be honest with you. But, yep, she's a weirdo. But I love her for it. She does things that make me shake my head, but I'm the same way. I am the same way. A couple years ago, my husband has a major fear of snakes. So that's something I will never ever get to have as an adult. When I was little, my mom's friend, I don't know what kind of snake it was. I just know it was huge. And I used to go and I remember feeding it with him. I'm pretty sure he would feed it mice or rats. I don't remember. It was pretty big. So I love the idea of reptiles, but my husband isn't keen on it. Borderline hates them. Where was I going with? Oh yeah, I was going and we were looking at geckos for my daughter. And then I didn't realize, like, okay, it's not just buying a tank. You really, really have to make sure there's like humidity and lighting. You know, if you've ever owned a reptile, if you want to make sure they live comfortably. Like, I'm not somebody who gets an animal to just look at it. Like, I wanted to have the best life possible. Like, my 2 dogs, which is probably not the best thing in the world, but they are very, very spoiled. I mean, they sleep in bed under the covers, like that kind of spoiled. And I know, like, I laugh at my husband because you see those TikToks, they're like, oh, you're like the white people. That's us with our animals. We're like the white people. And I always say to him, like, do you know there are people that literally put their dogs outside to eat dinner because it's unsanitary, and here we are at the table with the animals? Like, yes, unfortunately, we're those types of people. They don't ever go near the kitchen counters or anything, though. That is like a forbidden thing because that's disgusting to me. And when I cook, yeah, whatever. So, I was looking at, I really wanted a tarantula. I thought it was so cool. I think they are so cool. I literally love watching the videos of the people that have like the terrariums and they keep the, spiders in little houses. I just think it's so amazing. I love it. I'm somebody who likes spiders, but I would never do it because my sister has like a severe, almost borderline like arachnophobia, where she becomes hysterical. She, even like a little tiny baby, like house spider or even a daddy long leg, really like gets her going. So I would never do that. But we looked at him and I thought that would be an amazing pet. But, you know, there is a lot involved with reptiles that I didn't know about. Like, it's a serious pet that you have to take care of. Growing up, my uncle had iguanas, and it was amazing. It was, like, little, too. And he had, I'm going to say the tank for the iguana, it was so damn big. It took up almost the whole living room. I'm going to say it was bigger than my desk here. So maybe 6 or 7 feet long. It was huge. And it had all this stuff in it. And the iguana would climb up on the curtains. His name was Iggy. It was pretty cool. But yeah, she took a hissing cockroach. I don't know what her husband thought about it, but by now he's not surprised by anything my sister does, to be honest with you. And their poor cat, while she was away, when she was, is that one eyebrow all funny? Or is it me lifting my eyes? Sometimes when my eyes are extra hooded, if I like didn't sleep good or like I'm not feeling too good, I notice that this eye is a little droopier. I definitely think it has to do with like me not drinking enough water, and definitely like if I'm sleepy, and sometimes my eyebrows look a little more asymmetric, and it's usually just the way I'm lifting my eye. But her poor cat, when she was away, ended up getting some type of infection, and like literally in a day it turned into necrosis, and he obviously took him right to the vet. But it was like the fastest thing I've ever seen. I don't know, like I think it ended up being an infection in the whisker, and that quickly it turned into necrosis. So they had to I don't know if they cut the cat's face, I don't know, but he's all healed up now. But he was on antibiotics, and she has such bad luck with her cats. I've never seen two more finicky cats in my life. The one is the most stressed out cat I've ever seen, and he licks. He's like a stress licker, and he has to wear a cone. He has to go to the vet all the time. It's terrible. But yep. So I made tortellini soup the other night for dinner. That was amazing. That's all I'm doing for my eyes, because if otherwise I'm just going to be blending, and it's still a little bit later in the day. It's like 11 o'clock, almost 10 o'clock. I don't want to be here all day, because I want to get my house picked up just a little bit before my husband gets home. And then I'm going to do my bottom lash line real quick. This is my favorite brush from Morphe, the M506. It's the best blending, oh my goodness, blending brush for your crease, for underneath, for anything. I love it. So I'm just going to do kind of the similar on the bottom. I made soup, and then I kept seeing that show, what is it, Ginny and Georgia? And I am somebody who loves like high school shows. So when Dawson's Creek first came out, my mom and I watched that religiously. I watched Seventh Heaven. That was one of our shows we watched, my mom and I, but definitely Dawson's Creek. You got to remember, my mom was also like younger when she had me, so we used to love those shows. Dawson's Creek was like our comfort show. And then we started, I love like Beverly Hills 90210, anything like that. So I love any type of like teen show. It's just, oh, Pretty Little Liars had me in a chokehold, and the ending of PLL was a friggin' disgrace. And you know what? The one Pretty Little Liars, the second, whatever, when they were older, like, what the hell was the show? I'll put it up on the thing. That was really good. I'm disappointed they didn't follow through with it. Now, I haven't watched the new one. I know it's been out for about a year. I haven't watched it yet, or about 6 months. I will get to it. I'm actually re-watching it, and I watched it so long ago, you guys, and I never ever re-watched the show that I'm like not, some of the stuff I don't even remember, so it's like re-watching it all over again, which is fabulous. But what was my point? Oh, I started Ginny and Georgia, and it's really good. I really, really like it. It's fun. Oh my God, it's so cute. So if you were like on the fence about it, it's on Netflix. Just dive in and watch it. It's so good. And then, what was it? Last weekend, I watched I keep hearing about that show, Peaky Blinders, and I'm somebody who loves historical fiction, westerns, mobs, anything like that. And everyone kept saying watching it. I watched the first episode. I'm not hooked yet. If anyone, without spoilers, if you watch Peaky Blinders, is it good? Should I keep like watching it, push through a little bit? Because I wasn't like hooked. And I usually get hooked like right away. Like, I love that show, The Alienist. I love anything like that. So do you recommend kind of pushing through? I'm going in this old KVD Center Stain palette, and I'm going to go in with this silver. Should I push through and keep watching it? I also, which I am obsessed with, on Amazon Prime, I just started the show The English. Oh my God, it is so good. I'm only on episode 3. Holy shit, it's so good. It's in Western. Ooh, that's a loud airplane. It's a Western, and it is so good, but I love Westerns. Oh, I brought it up a little too much. And I also just started this, what is it, 1923, 1922. I started the first episode of that and loved it. So my husband and I have a lot of shows to watch, but right now while he's in New York, we can't really watch it. But I love The English. It is so good. So good. So let me finish my eyes so we're not here for like 6 hours. I'll put my eyeliner on, and I'll be back to do mascara because I want to show you the new mascara I got, and we'll go from there. Okay, you guys, so I am done my eyes. I just did some black underneath. I went a little over the top with the wing liner, but I just had to step back from it. So I'm going to tell you the truth about this telescopic lift. I know there's a lot of drama around it for whatever reason. I don't care. Here's my thing on this. It's a good mascara. There's nothing wrong with it, but you have to like that like spidery lash. To me, it's very, very spidery. I like it personally, but if you like something that's more natural, you're not going to like it. It's a very strange wand, and it's very wet, and it's flat here, so it's a little confusing how to use it. Yesterday my lashes were nutty, like crazy looking. You definitely need to like that spidery look. I got black brown, and I didn't think I was going to notice, but you definitely can tell it's not like black. So what I do is I start here on the side. Let me make sure you can see. I start on the side of the wand because there's a flat side that can hold a lot of product. And I try to just get in there because I really don't know how to use it quite yet. And I kind of just separate and brush through as I go. It is a little messy of a mascara, so you have to be careful. But the result is pretty. I don't use strip lashes. I don't use individual lashes. These are my natural lashes. I stopped using lashes a long time ago because it just took too much time, and my lashes just naturally grew. So I just kind of keep going in with the first coat and trying to get a hang of this wand. The wand is very weird. So there's the first coat. As you can see, it's very separating. It's quite lengthening. We're going to go in with the second coat, but I'm going to brush some of it off and just keep going. As you can see, it definitely gets a little more clumpy, but it is beautiful. I love those 2000s lashes, like the thick clumpy lashes. I love it. I'm gonna just do this mascara instead of going in with my usual like 3 mascaras. I'm gonna try to just use this one. It's just a really odd wand. Do you see what I mean? I don't understand this flat part. Oops. That's the only part I'm like confused as what it's there for. So I'm just going to keep going in and brush it through. That's 2 coats. I've only dipped twice. I am not somebody who waits for my mascara to dry in between coats. I don't like that on me. I don't know how people do it. It's so crazy to me. Because once my mascara dries, I can't budge. Now that this mascara has been sitting for a day or two open, like using it, it's dried a little bit. When I first got it, I kind of didn't like it, but now it's a little bit better. I think this is the type of mascara that gets better as it dries a little bit. But there's the first 2 coats only. That's the first 2 coats. Look at that length. it is pretty crazy how good it is. Oh, my eyes are so sensitive. So I'm just going to go in with a third coat because that's what I would usually do. And then I'll go off camera and do the rest. And then I'll show you the results. Okay, those are my lashes. Like I said, if you don't like them clumpy or spidery, maybe use a little bit less. I'm not sure. I love them. My grandmother's like, how like is your eyes like that? She's like, it looks incredible. They look like false lashes. She didn't believe me when I told her they weren't. So I'm going in with my One Size Beauty in Firestarter because I do have an orangey eye look. I was gonna wear pink, but it would clash a little too much. So I'm just gonna dip into this and start up high on my cheek, up in my temple some. I also like that look where people bring it onto their eye. If I had thought to do my blush first, I would have. Look at those lashes. They're crazy good. I do not have any, you can see I don't have any lash band on. I love these. They are a little wet still. So I'm just going to go, you know, overboard with the blush like I always do. I'm going to bring it up in here a little bit just to make it look a little more sun-kissed. I will blend it. Not much though. Knowing me, I love the blush. I was a little embarrassed about 2 weeks ago. I went to my daughter's basketball or cheer and didn't realize quite how pink my cheeks looked, but whatever. You know, if I'm going to do it, I might as well serve the look, you know what I mean? I got to do my hair after this too. So once my hair's done, I'll bring you back to show you the whole finished look. I know not everybody likes me to include my hair. I definitely, what's your opinion on that? Or should I do maybe like separate videos of my hair? I don't know. And then just a little on my nose. I know some people think it's boring when you curl your hair. I just like it. I think it's fun. It feels like you're on the phone with a friend, but you definitely don't, you know, have to. So I'm going to blend this some and definitely bring it back up here just a little bit. I really like that sun-kissed look. I like a blushy look. I like a lot of makeup, obviously. But yeah, things are just really fun right now. I don't know what else to really talk about. I'm still reading the same book, Hunting Adelaide right now, watching the few shows that I said. But other than that, I'm just excited for my husband to be home this weekend and just to hang out. The sun was out this morning. I don't know what happened. I was so happy to finally see the sun, and it looks like it went away. I feel like we haven't had sun in so long. So I'm gonna just go in. I feel like my eyebrows are crooked, but I know they're not. I know it's just me up raising my brows. I'm gonna go in with that Glow palette, and this is what I'm gonna highlight with today. Then I'm gonna go off camera, do my hair and lips, and I'll be back to talk to you, but I want to show you how pretty this is. I just dip into the 3 lighter shades. Look how pretty that is. Subtle but pretty. I do bring it onto the apple a little bit because it just makes you look glowy and pretty and sun-kissed. Look how pretty that is. Okay, so I will be back once my hair's done, everything's blended and looks a little bit better. So just give me a little bit. No time for you, probably half hour from me. Okay, you guys, so that is the end of today's video. This is how I ended up curling my hair. I've been doing it a little differently. Definitely let me know if you would like to see how I've been curling it. I've been bringing the wand up higher, so I get this more of like a, I guess like a 70s curl, and then I just brush it out as soon as I'm done. I don't really let them cool too much, maybe for a minute and a half. That way the curls are tight but still bouncy. I feel like if I had a bang moment, it would be a little more 70s, but this is what I've been doing. And for my lipstick, I just went in with Ashton from Anastasia Beverly Hills. So that is the end of today's get ready with me. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that this brought a little entertainment at the end of the day. I will link my social medias down below for you guys, and I will see all of you in my next video. Bye, guys.